today on 15 on 15.
The lawyer representing Radisson Hotel discloses issues the property is dealing with on its beachfront. Plus, we'll check out this bus that is running on human poop. And an HIV/AIDS researcher says Aruba is not getting tested early enough. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yentl Lieuw. The lawyer representing the Radisson reveals to ATV today that the hotel is dealing with several detrimental challenges on their beachfront, cruise tourists being one of the problems.
Tourists might be dropped at the beach by the Radisson, might spend on the deck chairs and the umbrella maybe a total no more $100. That's it. While you have guests staying at the Radisson, they pay an average of $400 per night. They they buy all their food, all their drinks on the island, and what they spend on the island is much more than that $100 for the mere afternoon. And it has become such a nuisance for these guests at the Radisson, who are repeat guests, who have been coming here for 15 years plus, that they've said, if this situation is not resolved, we will no longer come back to Aruba. And in this instance, the government needs to make an evaluation. What is more important? Your hardcore tourists that come back every year, or the cruise tourists that come here in the afternoon on the off chance that they might come back to Aruba? Where are your priorities?
That's not all. On Monday night's edition of 15 on 15, we'll go into details regarding the Radisson's latest legal lawsuit against 2 water sport vendors, amongst other issues the property is currently dealing with. Moving forward to another issue, the issue of stray dogs on this island has been a serious one for many years. Experts such as veterinarians and dog trainers, amongst others in the field, decided to take matters into their own hands. On a voluntary basis, platforms and committees were formed in order to execute the new dog law, but more people are being asked to be on board. Starting January 1st, 2015, a new law will be set in place to further protect dogs and to encourage the community in becoming more responsible pet owners. This new law would have never happened if members of the platform and committee didn't volunteer their time and expertise.
We need people to help us out. We have a platform with people. We are all professionals in the field, either a veterinarian, dog trainer, people that clean, that wash dogs, you name it. We're all professionals in the business, but we're all giving our free time to put those all together. But still, we need people to help us actually enforce it. We have police officers that will take care of the legal part, but we need people to help us. And for that, we need volunteers that we are training.
In order to clear stray dogs off of Aruba's streets, more manpower is needed. Tito Leclerc explains what volunteers would be signed up to do.
The volunteers that we need and that we are getting will be part of a big team that come January 1st will be voluntarily active in various ways, either it being promoting flyers, giving lectures in schools, giving demonstrations, or actively participating and going door to door, barrios to barrios, boroughs to boroughs, districts in Aruba, making sure that there is no street dog in the streets anymore, or with an owner or without an owner.
To get involved and help with the new dog law, go to www.plataformaleydicacho.org. And if you stopped by Eagle Beach last week to check out the beach tennis tournament, or if you catch it on ATV, you would have seen a big sport taking place. But the professional players have trouble making ends meet doing this full time. Beach tennis sure looks glamorous, but the sport is still too unknown for it to be profitable.
Well, really earning a living from it, I cannot really say that. I mean, this tournament was the highest from the prize money and was great, but without the sponsors, you cannot live from this. I hope for next year that I will find some more sponsors that make it possible for me to have a living from this, to really focus on beach tennis. Right now, it's still too small to say, okay, normally I go to a G1, and if you win the G1, you get $1,500 as a team. So you can imagine, with all the travel costs, you cannot really live from this. But I'm hoping that they will have more events like this, professional events, that you can earn a little bit more prize money, and then we can talk about the living from this. Yeah.
There is no financial security in the beach tennis sport as of yet, but professional players like Marijke are hoping the sport will catch on.
Right now I'm in a lucky situation, but for the future, I don't know how it will be. I cannot, if I don't have a permanent job, it's very hard to finance all these travels, and we will see. I hope that there will be some click, and beach tennis will grow a lot. So the sport grows, the prize money grows, and the amount of players, and that's what I'm really hoping for, because it's a great sport.
A small island like Aruba comes out on top with $4,500 as prize money for first place open doubles winners, meaning they'll still have to split that money. So you can imagine how small the amount of money professional players can win in other places if Aruba is coming out on top. On that note, we will be right back. Stay with us. After the break, check out mobile showers on a bus for the homeless in San Francisco. Thanks for staying tuned to 15 on 15. Let's get into a common sex topic for a minute. Have you ever woken up in the morning after a steamy session in bed to discover mysterious bruises or a hickey or a kink in your neck? Well, you aren't alone. A new survey found that 40% of people who have had a sex injury didn't realize it until the morning after. So what's going on? During sex, your levels of dopamine rise. Dopamine is an excitatory and arousing hormone that can block some pain, as can endorphins, meaning the chemicals making you feel crazy good are also keeping you from noticing pain that would otherwise have you wincing. And let's get into buses for a minute. There is a Britain bus that is literally running off of human feces. Britain's newest airport shuttle is the country's first bus to run on two unlimited resources: food waste and human feces. The biobus carries tanks of gas generated from the two materials at a sewage plant through a process. This gas just needs to be stripped of carbon dioxide and given propane to be converted into fuel. This is a process known as upgrading. The result is enough for a 40-passenger vehicle that emits up to 30% less carbon dioxide than a traditional diesel-powered bus. It takes the waste of 5 people accumulated over a year's time to fill the tank with enough gas to travel 186 miles. The annual poop from one person could power the bus for 37 miles. From Britain's public transportation to San Francisco's, a project in the heart of San Francisco allows the homeless in their city to reintegrate back into society, and this all starts with hygiene. Being homeless is tough and it's dirty, so the idea of this particular bus is to offer mobile showers to those who need it. It's not only about cleaning up, but it is about restoring dignity, reconnecting with people to their humanity, give them a better chance to find a job, and housing. Maintaining health and being reintegrated into society can be hard if you aren't cleaned up. The bus is fully equipped with 2 bathrooms, each containing a sink, shower, and toilet. It also doesn't discriminate. It also has wheelchair accessibility. What a fantastic idea. Let's take a break. This is what's coming up next. When we return, medical advances has been made on HIV/AIDS. Aruba needs to be made aware of this and not be afraid to get tested. Medical advances in the area of HIV and AIDS has allowed patients who has contracted the virus to still relatively live a normal life. An HIV and AIDS researcher who has worked in Europe is currently on the island to conduct work in the field. She says it is vital for the people on Aruba to change the mentality towards the disease. Dr. Elena Sanchez Rivas says in Europe and Spain, where she previously worked, her team is at a stage where the virus can somewhat be controlled. The term AIDS is only used during a patient's final stages.
So we have the medication that works perfectly and makes the virus I always say to my patient, the virus is sleeping in you. It's there, but it's not attacking you anymore, so it's not hurting your immune system. And then they live almost the same that the person that is not infected with HIV, and they don't have any complications due to HIV. And we don't get so many cases of people that arrives in the hospital in such a bad condition like 25 years ago, for example.
The HIV and AIDS situation in Spain and Europe is completely different than in Aruba. Patients may be dealing with the same virus, but the circumstances cannot be compared.
I have patients in Spain that were checking themselves every week, every year, or every 6 months. So once they are positive, they said, "Oh, well, it has to happen." So, but that is there, and then it's common that you have all the new patients are new infected patients, so they are not like people that arrive really sick. That is one case in 1,000 or something like that. Then I moved to Aruba, and I came and I knew a lot about HIV, but in that kind of HIV I was doing a lot of research and clinical essays and everything, and it was really nice. And then I came here and I learned again from zero, because still in Aruba the bad thing is that people is so afraid of doing the test that they present really late. So only this year the new diagnosis that we have, half of them presented in the hospital in such bad condition.
Awareness is needed on the island to educate sexually active individuals that it is good to get tested and it is necessary to get tested.
That's why we are trying to reach more and more the community, try to give more information to them so that this is not what it was before, so they can fight against the infection, they can have a perfect life, they can feel completely healthy just only with one pill a day, for example. They can have kids, they can have partners, not transmit the infection to anybody. So it's completely different than what happened in the 80s or in the early 90s. Right now it's completely different, so that's a good point. But people here, they don't know, they don't want to know, they still don't want to look at that, so most of them present really late. And most of them are positive and they know what they don't want to come. So they are so afraid to go to that point.
We'll hear more from Dr. Elena next week. That's all the time we have for now. Until next time.